Your only limitations are those you set upon yourself. Napoleon Hill. In the ancient tales that echo across time, we meet the seeker, wandering through shadowed paths, chasing a distant light that has always lived within. Much like you and I, the seeker battles not dragons or monsters, but the invisible walls built from doubt, fear, and hesitation. Picture the warrior, standing tall not against armies, but against the internal voices whispering, "You can't. You're not enough." But the warrior's sword is belief, their shield is discipline, and their strength is forged from one sacred decision: to keep moving forward. As Hill taught us, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The power is already yours. It only needs to be awakened. Then there is the healer, not of bodies, but of broken dreams. One who applies action like a balm to the wounds of delay and doubt. They remind us that the strongest chains are not forged from steel, but from the thoughts we repeat to ourselves each day. And those chains can be broken, not with perfection or ideal timing, but with one brave step, one choice, one act of courage. In Hill's philosophy, success begins not with grand gestures, but with a simple shift from waiting to deciding, from wishing to doing. Dreams don't die from impossibility, they die from inaction. And you, reading this now, carry within you the seeker, the warrior, and the healer. The question is, will you rise today and become the hero of your own story? Why do we stay stuck? Often, it's because we wait for motivation to strike, like the healer expecting a miracle without lifting a hand. But as Hill noted, motivation isn't a prerequisite. It's a byproduct of action, born from the simple act of beginning. Think of it. How many projects have you delayed, waiting for the right mood, only to find that mood never arrives? This waiting game is a self-imposed limitation, a trap that reinforces doubt and keeps us in a vicious cycle of inaction. Failure to decide is another silent thief, as Hill emphasized with his concept of definite purpose, where indecision wastes energy and opportunities. Imagine an aspiring entrepreneur, brimming with ideas, yet paralyzed by hesitation, allowing fear of the unknown to dictate their path. That entrepreneur could be you, stuck in stagnation because a clear decision feels too daunting. Fear and uncertainty compound this, growing like weeds in the garden of our minds, as Hill described in his teachings on the subconscious. We dwell on potential downsides. What if I fail? What if it's not perfect? Turning these thoughts into self-fulfilling barriers. But the seeker knows that uncertainty is not an enemy. It's a call to adventure, a chance to prove that limitations are illusions. Now, let's turn to the solution. The power of immediate action, where the warrior charges forward, dismantling barriers with each step. As Hill illustrated through stories like Thomas Edison's relentless experiments, success comes from acting, even amidst failures. Start small, a mere 5-minute task, like jotting down the first paragraph of your book, and watch as self-doubt crumbles under the weight of progress. This action generates momentum, a surge of energy that proves your limitations are surmountable. Building decisiveness is next. Hill's idea of definite decisions teaches us to set deadlines and visualize success, turning hesitation into resolve. Commit today. Enroll in that course, make that call, and rewire your mindset from doubt to determination. Practicing the first step is where true change begins, as Hill's principle of going the extra mile suggests. Break your goals into micro steps. If public speaking terrifies you, start by sharing your thoughts with one trusted friend. Remember, Ideal conditions rarely exist. The first step is the key that unlocks your potential. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head-on, much like the healer confronting a deep wound. Proactive steps erode these fears more than endless preparation ever could, as Hill shared in tales of self-made millionaires who persisted through bankruptcy. Confront your fear of rejection by applying for that job, despite the discomfort, and feel how it diminishes with each bold move. Fear is a mental construct, but action is the chisel that shapes it into something useful. Learning through failure is essential. Hill believed failure isn't a limitation but a teacher that refines skills and builds resilience. Reframe your setbacks as feedback. A rejected pitch becomes a blueprint for improvement, just as Henry Ford turned losses into innovations. Each failure is a lesson propelling the seeker further along the path. Now, cultivate self-discipline, the true foundation for dismantling limitations, as Hill asserted that habits shape our destiny. Discipline isn't about fleeting motivation. It's the engine that drives progress, countering excuses with consistent action. Build routines like early rising or focused work sessions to train your mind against internal barriers. Think of it as the warrior's daily ritual, sharpening their sword to face any challenge. Start with small habits, a 30-day challenge of daily exercise, to erode health-related self-doubt and build unbreakable resolve. Surround yourself with disciplined influences, drawing from Hill's mastermind principle to reinforce positive behaviors and weaken self-imposed limits. Developing a clear vision and goals is the compass that guides you, eliminating the fog of internal doubts, as Hill taught. Vague aspirations like, "I want to be successful," are self-limiting. Instead, craft specific goals, such as earn $100,000 this year by launching my business. This clarity creates focus and momentum, turning the healer into a force of transformation. Break down your goals into actionable steps. First, write a clear goal statement. Then, divide it into daily tasks. Finally, track your progress to build confidence. For instance, if career stagnation is your limitation, set a goal to network with 5 professionals this week, proving that action dissolves barriers. Each step forward reinforces that your only limitations are those you choose to acknowledge. As you pursue this, remember the seeker who finds treasure not by wishing, but by journeying onward. The warrior who battles not external giants, but the whispers of doubt within. And the healer who mends not with magic, but with the steady application of effort. Hill's wisdom reminds us that motivation follows action, not the other way around. We've explored how self-imposed limitations stem from waiting, indecision, and fear, but now you know the path to freedom. By embracing immediate action, building decisiveness, and facing fears, you reclaim your power. Cultivating discipline turns habits into allies, while clear goals light the way forward. It's time to stop letting these illusions hold you back. Right now, in this moment, choose to be the seeker who ventures boldly. Be the warrior who charges into the unknown with courage. Be the healer who transforms pain into purpose. Remember, as Hill echoed, your limitations are not etched in stone. They are thoughts you can rewrite. Take that first step today. Identify one personal barrier and act against it immediately. Perhaps it's starting a journal to clarify your goals, or reaching out to a mentor for guidance. Whatever it is, don't wait for the perfect time. Create it. Feel the emotional surge as you break free from the chains you've forged. Imagine the relief, the joy, the triumph that awaits on the other side. Your future self is calling, urging you to move now. In the spirit of Hill, declare that you will achieve what your mind can conceive and believe. Let this be the turning point, where hesitation ends and action begins. The world is full of possibilities, but they remain out of reach until you reach for them. So, what one step will you take today to shatter your self-imposed limits? Will you write that email, make that call, or simply stand up and declare your intent? Do it now, for in that act lies the essence of true freedom. As the seeker finds their path, the warrior claims victory, and the healer restores balance. So too will you rise above. Your only limitations are those you set upon yourself, but today you choose to set none. Embrace the journey, feel the emotion of possibility, and let your story unfold. This is not the end. It's the beginning of your empowered life. Go forth with the wisdom of Hill in your heart and the archetypes as your guides. Remember, the power to change is yours. Seize it and watch your world transform. In the words of Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, reminding us that our limitations are not etched in stone, but crafted in our own minds. Picture a world where doubt whispers, "You're not ready," holding you back from the dreams you've always chased. This is the problem many face. Self-imposed barriers like procrastination that keep us stagnant, even when we know our path. For instance, someone might dream of starting a business but hesitates, thinking, "I don't have the skills yet." These mental blocks create a cycle of regret, where potential goes untapped and mediocrity becomes the norm. As Hill taught, negative thoughts turn into self-fulfilling prophecies, trapping us in a web of our own making. But here's the truth: you hold the power to break free, and it starts with recognizing that change demands action, not just wishes. Waiting for the perfect moment only reinforces these limitations, as Hill emphasized that success follows decisive steps. Now, let's explore why you're not taking action, beginning with the trap of waiting for motivation. Too often, people believe they need to feel inspired before starting, but that's a self-imposed lie that keeps progress at bay. Hill knew that motivation isn't a starting point. It's a result of moving forward, like a fire that ignites once you strike the match. For example, delaying a workout because you're not in the mood only strengthens the habit of inaction, leading to more excuses. This cycle robs you of energy and opportunities, turning what could be a thriving life into one of endless postponement. Another barrier is the failure to decide, where indecision acts as a chain, weighing down your potential. Hill's principle of definite purpose shows that vague ideas without commitment waste your mental resources and stall your growth. Think of the entrepreneur who has a brilliant idea but never acts, allowing fear to dictate their fate and opportunities to slip away. Indecision isn't an external force. It's a choice you make, one that reinforces the limitations you've set. Then there's fear and uncertainty, those internal voices that amplify doubts and halt progress before it begins. As Hill explained, the subconscious mind magnifies these fears when we dwell on them, making them seem insurmountable. For instance, worrying about failing at a new job might keep you from applying, turning what if into a self-fulfilling defeat. These mental constructs are not real barriers. They're illusions we impose, but they can be dismantled through bold action. The solution lies in immediate action, as Hill advocated, where every step forward shatters the chains of self-doubt. Taking that first imperfect step generates momentum, proving that limitations are merely mental hurdles we can leap over. Consider Thomas Edison, who, as Hill highlighted, turned countless failures into the light bulb's success through persistent effort. Start small, like writing just one paragraph of your book, and watch how it builds confidence and dispels hesitation. Building decisiveness is key. Make firm decisions without delay, as indecision is the enemy of progress. Hill's teachings suggest techniques like setting strict deadlines to rewire your mindset from doubt to determination. For example, decide today to enroll in that course you've been eyeing, and feel the shift from hesitation to empowerment. Practicing the first step is essential. Break your goals into tiny, actionable tasks to overcome inertia. Hill's principle of going the extra mile means that even in imperfect conditions, starting now unlocks your true potential. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head-on, not avoiding them through endless preparation. As Hill shared in stories of self-made successes, those who persisted through adversity turned fear into their greatest ally. For instance, confronting rejection in job applications might feel daunting, but each attempt diminishes the fear's grip. Action is the antidote. It proves that what seemed impossible is often just a step away from reality. Learning through failure is another vital tool, as Hill believed that setbacks are teachers in disguise. Reframe failures as feedback, like a rejected pitch that highlights areas for improvement, building resilience along the way. Hill's anecdote about Henry Ford shows how turning obstacles into stepping stones led to groundbreaking innovation. Remember, failure isn't a limitation. It's a necessary part of the journey that strengthens your resolve. Cultivating self-discipline is the foundation for dismantling these self-imposed barriers, as Hill asserted. Discipline isn't about motivation. It's about creating routines that prioritize action over excuses, shaping your destiny. For example, establishing a daily habit like early morning exercise trains your mind to ignore doubts and push forward. Without discipline, limitations persist, but with it, you build a life of consistent progress and achievement. Building positive habits is the next step. Start with simple challenges to erode those internal blocks. Try a 30-day commitment, such as daily reading to overcome intellectual self-doubt, drawing from Hill's mastermind principle. Surround yourself with disciplined influences, as Hill suggested, to reinforce behaviors that break free from limitations. Developing a clear vision and goals is crucial, as Hill taught that a definite purpose eliminates vague self-restrictions. Crystal clear goals act as a compass, guiding you through doubts and sustaining your drive towards success. Vague aspirations like, "I want to be successful," are self-limiting. Instead, define specifics, such as launch a business and earn $100,000 in a year. This focus creates momentum, turning abstract dreams into tangible steps that dismantle mental barriers. To make it practical, write a clear goal statement and break it into daily tasks for steady forward movement. For instance, if career stagnation is your limitation, set a goal to network with 5 professionals this week. Proving action dissolves obstacles. Track your progress to build confidence, as each completed step reinforces that you're capable of more than you thought. In conclusion, remember that your only limitations are those you set upon yourself, and they can be overcome through decisive action. As Hill echoed, motivation follows action, not the other way around, rewriting your story from one of limits to one of triumph. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start now, no matter how small, to break the cycle of self-doubt and regret. Identify one personal limitation today and take immediate action against it, whether it's making a call or starting a project. Each step you take today builds the foundation for a future where barriers no longer hold you back. Imagine the freedom of living without those self-imposed chains, achieving what once seemed impossible. You're not defined by your doubts. You're defined by your decisions to act despite them. Right now, choose to embrace Hill's wisdom and step into your potential. Your future self will thank you for it. So, what one step will you take today to prove that your only limitations are those you set upon yourself? Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, as Napoleon Hill wisely stated in Think and Grow Rich. This powerful quote reminds us that our limitations aren't imposed by the world around us, but by the doubts we harbor within. So many people feel trapped by invisible barriers, like chains forged from their own fears and hesitations. Think about it. You know what you want, whether it's starting a new business or pursuing a passion, yet something holds you back. That something is often a voice inside saying, "I'm not ready," or "What if I fail?" These self-imposed limits create a cycle of regret, where dreams remain just that, dreams, never turning into reality. As Hill taught, negative thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies, trapping us in mediocrity. But here's the truth. You have the power to break free. Immediate action is the key, not endless planning or waiting for the perfect moment. Change starts when you decide that limitations are choices, and you choose to overcome them. Why do we stay stuck? Often, it's because we're waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. We tell ourselves we'll start that project when we feel inspired, but that day never comes. As Hill pointed out, motivation follows action, not the other way around. Picture this. You delay writing your book because you're not in the right mood, and soon, weeks turn into months. This waiting game is a self-imposed limitation, a habit that reinforces doubt and inaction. It's a vicious cycle where hesitation breeds more hesitation, leaving your potential untapped. Another barrier is the failure to decide, even when the path seems clear. Hill emphasized the importance of a definite purpose, yet many drift without committing to a choice. Imagine an entrepreneur with a brilliant idea, but they hesitate, fearing the unknown, and opportunities slip away. Indecisiveness wastes energy and allows fear to take the wheel, turning possibilities into regrets. Fear and uncertainty are perhaps the most common mental constructs we impose on ourselves. We worry about failure, perfection, or what others might think, letting these thoughts paralyze us. Hill believed that dwelling on downsides makes them grow, like weeds in a garden of potential. For instance, you might avoid applying for a dream job because you're anxious about rejection, creating a self-fulfilling barrier. This hesitation doesn't protect you. It ensures you never move forward. The solution lies in immediate action, the antidote to all these self-made chains. As Hill advocated, taking that first step, no matter how small, generates momentum and proves your limits are surmountable. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times but persisted through action, ultimately inventing the light bulb. You can start today by tackling a simple task, like jotting down one idea for your goal, and watch self-doubt fade. Building decisiveness means making firm choices without delay, transforming hesitation into resolve. Hill's principle of definite decisions suggests setting deadlines to force action, rewiring your mindset. For example, decide right now to enroll in that online course you've been eyeing, and feel the power of commitment. Practicing the first step is about breaking inertia. Ideal conditions rarely exist, so just begin. If your limitation is public speaking, start by talking to a friend and build from there, as Hill would advise. Each small action dismantles the barriers you've built, turning "I can't" into "I will." Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head on, not avoiding them. Proactive steps erode these feelings more than endless preparation ever could. Hill shared stories of self-made successes who confronted bankruptcy and kept going, emerging stronger. For instance, if you're afraid of rejection, apply for that job anyway. Each no weakens the fear's hold. Remember, fear diminishes with bold moves, proving that action is the true conqueror. Learning through failure is essential, as Hill viewed it not as a limitation, but as a teacher. Every setback refines your skills and builds resilience, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Take Henry Ford, who faced numerous failures but used them to innovate and revolutionize the auto industry. Reframe your failures as feedback. A rejected pitch isn't defeat, it's a chance to improve and try again. Cultivating self-discipline is the foundation for dismantling all self-imposed limitations. As Hill asserted, discipline shapes your destiny, countering excuses with consistent action. It's not about fleeting motivation. It's about creating routines that prioritize progress over comfort. For example, commit to waking up early each day to work on your goals, training your mind to ignore doubts. Building positive habits erodes limitations by making action a natural part of your life. Start with a 30-day challenge, like daily exercise, to overcome health-related self-doubt and build momentum. Surround yourself with disciplined influences, as per Hill's mastermind principle, to reinforce these habits. Developing a clear vision and goals is crucial, as they act as a compass against internal doubts. Hill taught that vague aspirations are self-limiting. Specific goals provide direction and sustain drive. Instead of saying, "I want to be successful," define it as, "I will launch my business and earn $100,000 this year." This clarity focuses your energy, turning abstract desires into actionable plans. To make it work, break down your goals into daily tasks, creating a roadmap that dissolves barriers. For instance, if career stagnation is your limitation, set a goal to network with 5 professionals this week. Track your progress daily, and watch as confidence builds with each completed step. Remember, action on these goals proves that limitations are illusions you can shatter. In conclusion, your only limitations are those you set upon yourself, as Hill so profoundly reminded us. Motivation and success don't precede action. They follow it, like shadows trailing light. By choosing to act now, you rewrite your story, transforming self-doubt into self-mastery. Every great achievement begins with a single step, so don't wait for the world to change. Change it yourself. Identify one limitation holding you back today, and take immediate action against it. Whether it's making that phone call or starting that project, prove to yourself that you're in control. As you move forward, remember Hill's wisdom. Persistence turns dreams into reality. Let go of the excuses and embrace the power within you. Your future self will thank you for this decision, for the life you're about to create. So, what small step will you take right now to break free? The time is now. Seize it with both hands. No more waiting, no more fear. Step into your potential. Remember, the only true limits are the ones you decide to keep. Act today, and watch your world expand. You've got this. Believe it. Achieve it. End this cycle of self-limitation and start living the life you deserve. Remember, as Napoleon Hill once said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This simple truth reminds us that the barriers we face are not forged in the world around us, but in the depths of our own thoughts. So many dreams remain unfulfilled because we convince ourselves they're out of reach. Picture the entrepreneur who hesitates to launch their business, trapped by whispers of doubt like, "What if I fail?" That doubt is a self-imposed chain, holding back the very potential that could set them free. It's time to break that cycle, to recognize that limitations are choices we make every day. Procrastination creeps in, turning ambition into excuses, and before we know it, years slip away. Think of the artist who never picks up the brush, fearing their work isn't good enough. Yet, every masterpiece begins with a single stroke, a decision to act despite the fear. The need for change is urgent. Waiting only strengthens the walls we've built around ourselves. As Hill taught, negative thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies, dragging us into a life of regret. But here's the turning point. You hold the key to unlock that prison. Immediate action is your greatest ally, transforming vague desires into real progress. Why aren't you taking that step right now? Often, it's because we're waiting for motivation to strike, like lightning from a clear sky. That wait is a trap, a self-imposed limitation that keeps us stagnant. Hill knew this well. Motivation doesn't precede action. It follows it, growing with every move you make. Consider the student who delays studying until they feel like it, only to fall behind and reinforce their doubts. This cycle robs you of energy and opportunity, turning potential successes into missed chances. Indecision is another thief, lurking in the shadows of your mind. When you fail to decide, you're choosing to let fear dictate your path. Hill emphasized a definite purpose as the antidote, a clear decision that cuts through the haze. Imagine the job seeker who knows their dream role but hesitates to apply, letting uncertainty win. That hesitation wastes your power, leaving you in a state of limbo where nothing changes. Fear and uncertainty compound the problem, magnifying every what if until it paralyzes you. These are mental constructs, as Hill described, born from dwelling on downsides rather than possibilities. They whisper lies like, "You're not ready," or "It's too risky," making you forget your inner strength. But here's the solution. Embrace immediate action as your weapon against these shadows. Taking that first step, no matter how small, shatters the illusion of impossibility. Hill celebrated figures like Thomas Edison, who turned countless failures into breakthroughs through relentless effort. Start with something simple, like jotting down one idea for your project today. Feel the momentum build as you prove to yourself that you can move forward. Building decisiveness means committing without delay, turning someday into right now. Use Hill's techniques. Set a deadline for your next decision and watch hesitation fade. For instance, if you've been eyeing a new career, decide today to update your resume. That act alone rewires your mindset, replacing doubt with resolve. Now, practice, the first step. It's the key that unlocks your potential. Break your goals into tiny, actionable tasks, because ideal conditions rarely appear on their own. If public speaking terrifies you, start by sharing your thoughts with a trusted friend. Each small victory erodes the limitations you've set, proving that action is the true path to freedom. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head-on, not avoiding them. As Hill believed, proactive steps diminish fear faster than endless preparation ever could. Think of the athlete who pushes through nerves to train daily, turning anxiety into adrenaline. Confront your fears directly. Apply for that job, pitch your idea, or speak your truth. With every bold move, fear loses its grip, revealing the strength you've always had. Learning through failure is essential, for it's not a limitation but a stepping stone. Hill saw failure as a teacher, refining your skills and building the resilience needed for success. Reframe your setbacks. A rejected proposal isn't defeat. It's feedback to improve and try again. Look to Henry Ford, who turned business failures into innovations that changed the world. Embrace each stumble as a lesson, and watch how it propels you further than you imagined. Cultivating self-discipline is the foundation that dismantles all self-imposed barriers. Without it, motivation flickers and dies. But with it, you create unbreakable habits. Hill insisted that self-discipline shapes your destiny, countering excuses with consistent action. Start small. Commit to a daily routine, like waking early to focus on your goals. This discipline trains your mind to ignore the voices of doubt, fostering a life of progress. Building positive habits is the next layer. They erode limitations by making success routine. Try a 30-day challenge. Exercise every morning to overcome health-related fears. Surround yourself with disciplined influences, as Hill suggested in his mastermind principle. Watch how these habits transform your self-image, turning "I can't" into "I will." Developing a clear vision and goals is where it all converges, eliminating vague doubts. Without specific goals, you're adrift. With them, you have a compass that guides every action. Hill taught that a definite purpose ignites sustained drive, making limitations irrelevant. Define your goals clearly. Instead of "I want success," say "I will launch my business in 6 months." Break them down into daily steps, turning overwhelming tasks into manageable wins. For example, if career stagnation is your limitation, set a goal to connect with one mentor this week. Track your progress diligently. Each checkmark builds confidence and momentum. Remember, action dissolves barriers, and clear vision keeps you moving forward. In conclusion, your only limitations are those you set upon yourself, but they can be unmade. As Hill echoed, motivation follows action, and success is born from the choices you make today. So, take that one small step now, identify your limitation, and act against it, for your future self is waiting.